That was aggressive. Hey guys, welcome back to the Elevate podcast. My name is Em. If you don't know, now you know. This is going to be your weekly little tidbit of health, wellness, fitness, lifestyle shit. So let's talk about it. How are you guys? First things first, I didn't upload last week. It was Christmas, and there was a part of me that thought I was going to record an episode and get it all uploaded, like edited and everything to go up on Thursday, and I just didn't. I had a really nice week off from everything, and I mean like a week off from everything. I didn't go to the gym, I didn't edit, I didn't do anything content-wise, and it was great. So I'm not going to apologize for not uploading. However, this week's episode is going up on Tuesday, so hi, it's currently the 31st. I wanted this to go up today instead of on the 2nd, because I figured if you hadn't already made your New Year's resolutions, or if you were back and forth on if they were something you were even going to do this year, I figured I would upload this episode before the new year so that you have a chance to listen and maybe decide for yourself for this year if New Year's intentions and resolutions are something that you want to do. How was your guys' Christmas? How was your holidays? However you celebrate, whatever you celebrate. I had a lot of fun. I got to go home. I hadn't been home since August, so it was my first time home. And also, I think we've talked about this already, but I'm pretty sure that was our last Christmas at my parents' house, like the current house that they're in, because I'm pretty sure they're listing their house hopefully in the first half of 2025, and they will hopefully be moved out of there before Christmas next year, which is wild. It's so crazy. It was very chill. We played a lot of board games, watched a lot of movies, the usual, ate way too much fucking food. I feel perpetually full for like 6 days after Christmas. That was my Christmas. I hope yours was good. I hope that you took into account what we talked about before Christmas and made yourself a priority, however that looked, and didn't let people talk shit about you. So I know we've already talked about vision boards this year, which typically closely correlates to New Year's resolutions. Normally, I would say you're making your vision board centered around what your intentions and resolutions are for the new year, but not always. Sometimes people make a very big separation between those two things. So I figured we'd talk about New Year's resolutions and why I think they're helpful, how I would go about setting them if I was in your shoes, and why they can be really practical applications to people's lives when it comes to their health, wellness, fitness. A New Year's resolution is essentially a promise or a decision to do something new or improve one's habits in the coming year. It's often made on the first day of the year to take advantage of the fresh start that the new year brings. We'll touch on why I think people do that around New Year, like we'll get into that. So there's some super common examples of New Year's resolutions, such as eating healthier, giving up smoking, working out, losing weight, doing random acts of kindness, reading one book a month, or like going somewhere new, like traveling is a big one for a lot of people. So a resolution is different from like a wish or a desire, because a resolution actually involves planning and hard work to make it happen. Resolutions are often related to examining habits to see if they're actually beneficial in your life. First off, I just want to start. Okay, so at work, I work at a chiro clinic. We've talked about this before, but at the desk, we have like these little surveys that we do every week, and most of the time they're the most random fucking questions. Like it's like apples or oranges. Over Christmas we did Is Die Hard a Christmas Movie, yes or no? So we just do them for fun, and I thought this week, since it's kind of close to New Year's, for the question I put, do you make New Year's resolutions, yes or no? Now, I don't know why in my head I thought it was going to be like an outstanding amount of people saying yes. So far this week, I had 17 no's and 2 yeses, one of which was me. Now, I will preface, most people that have come in this week that have voted are older. I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't know the statistics on age-related New Year's resolutions, but I had so many people that, you know, would come up, put their little paper clip in their cup, and they were like, I don't make resolutions because I don't think I need to wait for a specific date to change who I am. Or somebody was like, I don't need to make a New Year's resolution because I just work on myself all year round. And like, not in a nice way. They were like being snotty as fuck about it. And I was like, first of all, why are you angry at me? Why are you mad at me? I guess I had never really thought about the fact that somewhere along the line in people's lives, they stop making resolutions. And that stops becoming a priority every year. And I don't think I had ever thought about that, if I'm being honest. I think in my head for the longest time, I was like, yeah, everybody makes a resolution. Obviously, everybody has a list in their phone. Everybody does this, like this full audit of their life every December and decides what they want to change. And apparently not. Apparently I was right fucking wrong about that, because Let me tell you, old people were snotty all week about the fact that I was like, oh, I make resolutions and like intentions. And they were all like, shut up. But yeah, so apparently old people don't make New Year's resolutions. So New Year's resolutions as a tradition are most common in the Western world. There is traces of them in the eastern parts of the world. Essentially, again, they're promises to oneself for the next calendar year regarding something that they either want to continue, change, or improve on. There's a couple different religious origins for New Year's resolutions. I'm not going to get into that because I didn't put a ton of research into every religion's version of resolutions and stuff, but there is traces of religious origins for resolutions. So New Year's resolutions have grown in popularity for hundreds and hundreds of years. The 1671 diary of Anne Halkett included an entry on January 2nd, which was titled Resolutions, which contained a number of religious pledges taken primarily from Bible verses, such as, quote, I will not offend anymore, unquote. They're old. Like, New Year's resolutions as a concept are very, very old. By the beginning of the 19th century, the tendency of people to make and also the tendency of people to fail to keep resolutions was commonly known. An early instance of the complete phrase New Year's resolution is found in a January 1st issue of a Boston newspaper from 1813, which said, and yet I believe there are multitudes of people accustomed to receive injunctions of New Year's resolutions who will sin all the month of December with a serious determination of beginning the new year with new resolutions and new behavior, and with the full belief that they shall thus expiate and wipe away their former faults. At the end of the Great Depression, about a quarter of American adults, I don't have Canada stats, but a quarter of American adults formed New Year's resolutions. By the end of the 21st century, about 40% did. In fact, according to the American Medical Association, approximately 40 to 50% of Americans participated in the New Year's resolution tradition from the 1995 Epcot and 1985 Gallup polls. A study found 46% of participants who made common New Year's resolutions, examples are weight loss, exercise programs, and quitting smoking, were likely to succeed over 10 times as among those deciding to make changes at any other time of the year. New Year's resolutions as a concept are quite old. They're not like a brand new topic that nobody's ever spoken about and whatever. I think more and more, especially through the wellness community, setting intentions and resolutions for the beginning of the year is more and more common in a much greater percentage of the population across the world. Evidence for actual behavioral changes after New Year's resolutions is very mixed. The effect is most pronounced immediately after the new year, but decreases soon afterwards. Approach-oriented goals rather than avoidance-oriented goals can lead to better results. So there's that whole thing. I know we talked about this last year, I think with the 75 Hard episode, or maybe a different episode, I don't remember. There's the whole thing where gym owners love January 1st because a huge percentage of people who set New Year's resolutions, one of their resolutions is to lose weight or to start working out or to be healthier all around. A good chunk of the time that comes with a gym membership. Typically you have to sign up for the full year, there's contracts and whatever else. So gym owners love January 1st because you have a huge amount of people who sign up for a membership, they have to sign the contract for the whole year, and by February, March, they're not coming anymore. So then that becomes steady income for the gym owners as they're receiving those payments every month for this huge amount of people that are no longer actually coming to the gym. So that's less wear on the equipment. That's all of these things that benefit the gym owners. A lot of people end up in that cycle of starting a New Year's resolution and then failing at it because they're setting those avoidance-oriented goals. In a 2014 report, 35% of participants who failed their New Year's resolutions admitted that it was because they had unrealistic goals. 33% of participants did not keep track of their progress, and 23% forgot about them. The remaining respondents claimed that they made too many resolutions. A lot of people have a negative I don't want to say relationship, but a lot of people have a negative idea about New Year's resolutions and what their benefit is, and they don't want to make them because in their mind, well, I'm going to make it and then I'm going to fail at it and then I'm just going to be frustrated all year that I fucked up this resolution that I made for myself. And I think that a big chunk of that comes down to the fact that people don't know how to make proper resolutions and people don't know how to make action-oriented resolutions. If I was to sit here and say, one of my resolutions for 2025 is I want to eat healthier. Okay, great. What about it? Like, what are you doing to accomplish those things? If you're not clearly defining, I want to eat healthier, but so like this is one of mine. If I was to sit here, so I typically have like one I don't want to say cheat meal, but I have one like off-plan meal a week, and typically that's pizza. The issue with me liking pizza as my cheat meal is it doesn't last me one meal. I get pizza Friday night, I then have lunch on Saturday, supper on Saturday, and sometimes breakfast on Sunday from that one pizza, because I can't eat a lot of it at once because it makes me sick, but I like it, so then it lasts me the entire fucking weekend. So then that's not one off-plan meal. That one meal has now become 4 or 5 meals. So if I was to say, which this is actually, I'm going to read off some of my intentions for the new year because I think I have some fun ones. So one of mine under my like nutrition category that I made for myself was only eating out twice a month. So that includes my pizza or my fast food, and that I need to find a way to have one meal. That's all I want. I want twice a month to have my like, I don't like saying cheat meals because it's not the word that I like to use and it makes it sound like a bad thing. It's honestly good for you to eat off plan sometimes. That's totally fine. I'm not a nutritionist. Go talk to a nutritionist. But I don't want to stay in this cycle of doing it every single week and then having every week's cheat meal, quote unquote, last me 5 meals. I want twice a month to actually like go pick up food from a restaurant, or Walkbox is my fucking favorite. I love Walkbox. Go to Walkbox twice a month. Get my food because that's one meal. Come home, eat it, or I'll eat it there, whatever. But I want that twice a month because I need to be, for my own health and my own like sanity, I need to be more strict with how often I'm eating out and what I'm eating when I eat out, stuff like that. So a couple weeks ago, I started the process of making my resolutions, and I like intentions more than resolutions. I had broken them down into a couple different categories. So like my categories are appearance, physical, nutrition, routine, work, mindfulness, side work, which is podcast, Instagram stuff, financial, and learning. And under each of those categories, I set like multiple different intentions, and I made, each one has like 3 little side notes about it, about what the steps are that I'm going to take to accomplish that. So for example, one of my goals or intentions for next year is to get my hair back to a healthier state because I kind of killed it over the last 2 years. Under healthy hair, I have weekly hair oiling, clean brushes weekly, more protective styles while I'm sleeping, and using bar shampoo and conditioner. So if I had only said, I want healthier hair next year, okay, that's great, but what are the steps, like what are the pre-planned steps that I've made to make that possible? Under nutrition, I have that I want to improve my gut health. I have so many gut issues, my stomach is awful. Under improve gut health, I have book a doctor's appointment because I've been putting that off, but I need to book a doctor's appointment to just talk about my nutrition and gut health. Get blood work regularly. Typically, I go about twice a year for blood work. I'm hoping to bump that up to 4, like kind of once a quarter, which I know is a lot. For the average person and the average like healthy person, get your blood done once a year. I know people, this is also wild to me. I used to work with somebody that was like in their mid-30s and had never gotten blood work done. Ever. Besides like when they were sick and, you go to the hospital and they take a vial of blood. They had never gone and just gotten a full blood panel done. And in my head, that seemed crazy. And then I realized that some people genuinely just don't think about it or don't see that as a necessity. Wild. But anyways, I typically go twice a year to get my blood done. I'm hoping to do that once a quarter to get a better idea of what my levels are quarterly. I also have that I want to reduce processed foods in my diet. Also really bad for that. A lot of my diet is unfortunately still pretty processed foods. Not the worst thing in the world. I'm not saying that you can't eat processed foods. I'm saying for me and for the goals that I have for my health, processed foods are not helping me achieve that. I want to reduce how much I'm eating them. I think people shit talk resolutions and have this weird mentality about them because they never really learned, quote unquote, can you learn how to make, kind of, they never really learned how to make a positive resolution and also how to make an effective one. If I, again, okay, common one, I want to lose weight in 2025. Okay, great. But the human brain, like, people are simple beings. I can sit here and say, okay, if I wrote on my little list, I want to lose weight in 2025. I want to lose X amount of pounds. I want to weigh this much by the end of the year. However that looks, that's great, except I haven't like planned out how I'm going to make that happen. So suddenly it's going to be February 16th and I'm going to be like, remember how I set my New Year's resolution to be lose weight, and now it's the 16th and I haven't done anything in the past month and a half. So instead of starting right now, I'm going to wait until next year because I want that like feeling of completeness for the new year, which we kind of touched on that in the beginning. People have the same mentality around New Year's as they do as Mondays. I would argue that most people, if they decide that they want to start working out and it's like a Thursday, or say it's a Wednesday. Okay, it's a Wednesday morning. I decide, I really want to start working out. I want to start going to the gym. I want to get a gym membership. I want to do all of these things. Am I going to start Thursday morning? Chances are no. I'm going to wait until Monday because, again, people are very simple beings. And for a lot of people, myself included, it feels like it's not rational to start something in the middle of the week, in the middle of the month, in the middle of the year. People are always waiting for the first of the month. They are waiting for Mondays. They're waiting for New Year's. They want this feeling of, I am starting out, like this is about like a brand new chapter of this year, or this is a brand new chapter of my life. And I want to start all of these good habits on day one of the month, which I get and I understand and I know why it feels like that's the best option. I'm not saying that I'm immune to this. Like, I made New Year's resolutions, and could I start most of these today? Yes. Have I started most of them today? No, because in my head, I'm like, well, it's okay. Like January 1st is tomorrow, so I'll just start everything tomorrow because then I'm starting everything on the right foot. I'm starting off the year on a good note. But why don't I just fucking start it today? Why didn't I start it 3 weeks ago when I made this list? I'm not saying you're a bad person for that because I am not immune to it. I do the same shit. I think that's why a lot of people have such a negative history with the idea of resolutions, especially because, okay, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I am sick as a fucking dog and I didn't wake up at the time that I had planned and I didn't get my workout in if I didn't do the exact step-by-step routine that I had planned out yesterday, suddenly I feel as though I've already failed for the year because I didn't start off day 1, or I missed day 8, or I missed day 37. And now I have to throw the whole fucking thing away because if I didn't start it off on the right foot, how am I ever going to finish it on the right foot? And that's just not the way it works. I understand why people get looped into this cycle of, I missed day 1, I missed day 7, I missed day 38, or whatever it is. And then instead of having the mentality of, okay, I missed day 7, but on day 8, I'm going to start over. Instead of doing that, people have this mentality of, well, I missed day 7, so now I might as well throw away the rest of the year because what does it fucking matter? What do my accomplishments matter on January 1st, 2026 if I screwed up January 8th, 2025? And I'm not sure where, as people, we developed this mentality that if you didn't complete something 100%, I mean, people are perfectionists and I understand that, but there's a weird mentality when it comes to habits and lifestyles that if you don't do it 110% correct, if you have any fault, if you at any point trail off from what you were doing, suddenly it invalidates the entirety of what you've just accomplished, and it's just not true. That's just not the way it works. I feel frustrated for people who have that mentality, which I'm saying that because I also am victim of feeling that mentality. I also do that shit. I'm also oh, it's Wednesday and I missed my workout today because I wasn't feeling well. I also should go to the gym tomorrow, but I feel like I've already thrown away the entirety of this week because I missed one day. You had 6 more days. Why is one day invalidating 364 days of the year? If you are consistent for 364 days and you missed one day because it was your birthday, or because you were sick, or because you simply didn't want to be a person that day, and that's fine. And I want you to know that that's fine. And I want you to understand the fact that I also need to understand this fact that you missing a day or you slightly changing, you can even change your resolutions halfway through the year. Who fucking cares? Realistically, it is your life. You're not, this doesn't impact anybody but yourself. So who cares if you missed a day? If you missing a day was what allowed you to go back the next day, great. There's so much pressure every year on making resolutions and sticking to them 110%. Otherwise, you failed. And I don't think you can fail a resolution. I think you can make a resolution that isn't serving you very well and might make it difficult to accomplish. But I think even just the act of sitting with yourself and setting resolutions at the end of the year is an act of self-care, and it's something that shows that you have things in your life that you want to improve on, which is good. There is quite literally not a single person that exists on this earth that should be able to sit there and say, I'm 100% happy with every single aspect of my life, and there is no place in my life that I wish to make improvements. You can't say that. And if you can, guarantee you haven't taken a good enough look at your life, because there is quite literally always minor things to improve on. Not in a negative way. I'm not sitting here saying that if you don't find immediate fault in your life that you are a liar. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that everybody should have a desire to improve their life in some way. Maybe that's just that you want to travel more. That's not something that a lot of people often think about for a resolution. That's one of my, I want to make use of my own time. I want to remember that my own time is my own time. If I have the weekend off, a weekend is enough to go for a trip. I can go camping on the weekend, or I can go drive wherever and spend a night in a hotel. Even if your only resolution is that you want to travel more, or you want to go camping once, or you want to get a pet. It doesn't have to be this big, huge change of like, I want to completely flip my life 180 and make so many drastic changes that I don't even recognize myself by the end of the year. Nobody ever said that that's what a resolution had to be. And I think somewhere along the line, it got misconstrued into this idea that if you are not wanting to radically change your life, that your resolution isn't worth it, and that it's not worth making intentions for the year, and it's not worth putting any time into, because who cares about a change if it's not something drastic? I care about a change if it's not something drastic. I care about those minor changes in my life that improve my day-to-day quality of life. And I think that's all that really fucking matters. I think if you were somebody who is unsure about setting resolutions this year, or you don't know what you want to set for resolutions, I'll post on Instagram. Maybe I'll just do like a TikTok of it, or I'll make an actual feed post. I'll go over a couple of my like favorite quote unquote resolutions or intentions. I like intentions better, but a couple of mine for the next year. I'll post some examples, give you some good ideas of like minor things that you can set a goal for yourself for the next year that doesn't feel like so much effort and so much work that it feels unreasonable. Guess what? This is your life. You are the only person who is in full control of what happens in your life, when it happens, and how it happens. And if you're not willing to make any changes in that, I can't help you. Nobody else can help you. And that sounds mean, and maybe it is, but if you are not willing to make a change in your life, you can't expect anything to change. Anything that you're not changing, you're choosing. I saw that on TikTok. Everybody's seen that TikTok. But whatever you're not willing to change, you are actively choosing to exist in your life. If you are constantly uncomfortable with your day-to-day life, but you are not making any changes, you are choosing to be uncomfortable every day of your life. And that's, at the end of the day, that's on you. Unfortunately, you have to be willing to take time for yourself and to put effort into yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be in the same cycle for the rest of your life. And that's, I don't know. So anyways, go set some resolutions, go set some intentions, go set something for yourself. Even if it is the smallest thing, such as I want to feel happier by the end of the year. What are some examples of what's going to help you get there? Simple little things. That was a blabby episode. Sorry, guys. I haven't recorded in like 2 weeks, so I feel very fucking out of it. But I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful holiday season. I hope you have a good New Year's. Be safe, be smart. Sit with yourself today or tomorrow or next week or whenever fits you best. Sit with yourself and take essentially an inventory of your life and decide what is serving me, what is not, and what am I willing and what am I capable of changing in the next 12 months. And go from there. So anyways, so I think your biggest reminder going into the next season of life is, I think my biggest reminder for the next season of life is your health, fitness, and wellness is not a one-stop destination. It's never going to be. It's about making sustainable lifestyle changes that lead to a better future for yourself. So take it one step at a time. Be kind to yourself. Like always, if you're wanting more day-to-day updates from me, go follow me on Instagram, EBFit for the gym page, Elevate with Emily podcast for the podcast, and Emily Brilliard for my personal. We're on YouTube. I say it every week, and I'll continue to say it. So if you would rather watch your podcasts, link will be in the show notes. And yeah, I don't know, guys. I hope if you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for such an awesome year. with the podcast. You guys are awesome. Take it one step at a time. Be kind to yourself. And until next time, stay well and keep growing. We'll chat next week.